Welcome to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. Over the next few minutes, the teams will be heading out onto this classic Formula One track for what we're expecting to be a very hectic practice session. We can see, of course, plenty of activity in the garages as we wait for the green light to get this session underway. Anthony Davidson, thank you for joining me once again. What are you going to be looking out for once the cars get out there on the circuit today?
Well, naturally, in any free practice session, you can never be sure exactly what programs the teams are running, how much fuel they've put in, and so on. So it's important to resist the temptation to draw any firm conclusions from the fastest times on the monitor. What we can do, however, is look for consistent pace over the course of multiple laps. So if someone does half a Grand Prix distance, and they're consistently half a second quicker than another driver doing the same, then that's generally a good indicator of a car with a solid race pace.
Kimi would never do that. He would never do that. Alright, here we go. We're at Spain. We've done a little bit of testing for this. Hopefully I get the AI right. Good competitive AI level. We ran this setup, but I altered it. And I'm going to run, so I'm going to do some changes again. That might be what it was that was really making this setup very difficult to drive.
Okay, remember that the way the car handles is all about weight transfer.
Yes.
When you brake, the center of mass moves forward. When you accelerate, it moves rearward. And when you turn, it is pushed to the outside of the car. More load on each tire equals more grip. So make sure you're smooth with the controls to prevent the weight transfer from becoming too violent.
So we're going to try this. Oh, sorry. I meant to just go to track. We're going to try those setup changes. The ballast was very far to the rear. That's why it was so oversteery. We're going to try and dial some of that out of this setup. See if we can get it at least handle more like a race car. Get it to handle well enough that I can race with it. Might be down the second gear here, which action is very difficult. I expect this to be kind of a bogey track for us. We could have won Russia last night, but we didn't nail strategy. Oh, it's not quite flat. Oh, why isn't the RS staying open? Okay. Sorry, I missed my braking point. It's a practice session after all. What the? What? Okay, that's worth a flashback. Why did it... What? Why did it spin me like that? Hold on. What? Why did the car behave like that right there? Obviously I missed my braking point, so I had to go on. There's like no grip on this part of the track for some reason. Okay, alright, well that's great to know. Don't go deep like I did. Medium tire sucks anyway, so. It's not a great tire compound. It's pretty decent in long runs in the races, but try and qualify on this tire in Q2. So forget that lap. That was not even a real lap. Much better. We almost out of fuel. Car feels decently balanced. Feels well balanced enough anyway. So you're gonna brake about right there. Any later than that is too late. Please give me some handling. DRS wide open, not purple. I don't expect to be that quick around here. This is a bogey track for me. So as I was trying to say before, is Russia was not a bogey track for us. We had pace there, we just messed up the strategy. And we didn't have the pace to fight Hamilton. So what I wonder is, had we got strategy right, we didn't stay out too long, would Hamilton still have caught us? I think so. He was pretty rapid on the super soft tire last night at Sochi. So I expect this to be a Mercedes and Hamilton track in the game. It always was in the real world as well. Always kind of has been. Not my favorite track in the world. Layout isn't terrible to drive, it's just not the greatest racing. The chicane needs to go though. Car is terrible in that chicane. I don't feel like I can push it too much faster than that. P2, Hamilton on hard tires is barely faster than us. Oh, Raikkonen's gone fastest. Hard tire is virtually useless. Hard tire is virtually useless in real life and in this game. I wonder if that'll give me a little bit better run. No, maybe. I don't know. Car really struggles in this last sector. Feels like I'm just waiting on the car in the last sector. It's better. Still slower than Raikkonen, but better. Mercedes are out here running hard tires, Ferrari on mediums. Us Ferrari boys running the medium. Never was my greatest track. Doing some overtaking simulations. Much better run to the line, but we're still slow. Got held up a bit. Oh, is that Raikkonen behind us? That is. But there's Kimmy. Now know where Kimmy is. He's right behind me. He's pretty quick. That boy dangerous. Are you kidding me? Look how quick Kimmy is. Putting me under pressure here. Ah, that was sloppy. Guess the lap times are kind of consistent. Practice the pit entry on this next lap. Setup feels pretty good, I think. Or I would argue it feels okay. Current lap times are about what I have to offer. On the medium tire. A little bit wide out of there. Don't want to go full throttle over that. So we'll just spin the car. All right. It's pretty straightforward pit lane entrance here. So I'm not concerned about pit lane entrance. I am a little concerned about our pace. Don't seem to have the pace around here so far anyway. So what's the timings like? 21.9, we're doing, wow, 21.9 on the medium tire. The same tire that we're on. Good news is we're competitive with the Mercs, but I've always thought that Kimmy is unbelievably...
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:23.4.
I've always thought Kimmy is unbelievably unreal fast in this, and he is. He's just stupid fast in this game. So, where's Hamilton? He is P6 with a 23.5 on the hard tire. I don't think there's too much that I'm going to change. We could run the hard tire just to see how it feels, because they've given us a hard compound tire, so let's just see how that tire feels. Tire selection, there it is. So we get one hard tire in the practice session. This tire would be discarded anyway, so why not go out and do some running on this tire compound and just see how bad the initial laps would be on this. I think it's useless to run this tire over the course of the weekend, so I don't think there's any point in using it. But I'm going to run it in practice here just to see where we stand pace-wise on this tire and how it just drives. You never know, we might like the harder compound, but I'm willing to wager that we're going to hate this tire. but it would be a very durable tire to run in a long stint here at Barcelona. That would be the only way that I would see it being a good tire. I expect it to be a bit slower over one lap, but I don't know. Been pretty neck and neck with the medium. That was not a very good corner. A lot of sliding around on this tire. Yeah. I mean, it was okay through the first couple sectors, but by the end, it's just sliding around. It's not a very good tire. Might hold up well over long run pace, but Woohoo! Fast hands. Oh my gosh. Where's the rear end going? It's very bad.
Kimi is in first position.
This is why I would suggest avoiding the hard tire. It's very slippery through there. It just slides around. Oh. Can't get the car pointed in the right direction. Yeah, let's avoid this tire. It's bad. Oh, the brake bias is all the way to the rear again. That's a problem. Why is the brake bias so far rearward coming out of the pit? Okay. Well, that's interesting to learn. Another thing is I don't know if Kimi was pushing on rich mix on his fastest lap, so that could be a possibility as well. See how this final sector goes. Yeah, traction is just non-existent by the time you get here. Avoid the hard tire at all costs. Don't even use this tire, it's terrible. Alright, we'll give it a run on soft tires just to do one last setup check. Again, since we have tire compounds to play around with. Okay. There is 7.5 minutes left in the session. It's plenty of time to throw a new set of tires on and do about a lap or two
So far, our
on this
fastest lap is
tire.
a
So
1
let's
minute
soft
23.4.
tire. Go to track. Car isn't great in the last sector. It's moving around a lot in the last sector. It doesn't seem to be very good in slow corners. So this is the section of track that's really killing us. Just gotta improve. You could improve the setup, but I think the car is actually fine all around. It's just that particular portion of the track is a little bit weak. Might leave us a little bit susceptible in the race, but we'll see. Raikkonen is banking in fastest laps. He can be the fastest in the practice sessions if he wants to be. Almost got it flat on the soft tire there. So this tire compound makes a difference. There's a much grippier tire. Good exit speed. Oh man, we've almost found a second. Good tire, for sure, but still, it shows you their pace difference. I don't know if they're doing push laps with qualifying engine modes, so it could be that. Or just in standard mixed fuel. Took out the DRS sign. I don't like how the car gets so loose right there. Yeah, that's a concern. Okay. Just frustrating final sector. Well, I don't think we're gonna have the qualifying pace, but I definitely don't think we're gonna have race pace either. So this is gonna be a rough circuit for us. So we're on the pace in Sector 1, off the pace a little bit in Sector 2, and of course Sector 3 is our weakest. Well, let's get on to the next session. Advanced qualifying. 1 minute remaining. Yep.
An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top three, who are Raikkonen, Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel. Practice times are on the board then, but no points are on offer just yet. We'll be back with more F1 action soon. Today's qualifying session is about to start here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. And what a cracker of a session we're expecting it to be. Now then, Anthony Davidson, you're not getting any younger, but you have been involved in your fair share of qualifying sessions in an illustrious 30-year career. How do you deal with the pressure when you have that one chance to deliver a perfect lap?
It's not so much about dealing with the pressure, it's more about how you approach the risk, and just how much of it are you willing to take. You're constantly balancing the car on the edge of grip from braking, cornering and traction, and over the course of a lap, it's easy to get that balance wrong, and that's why achieving the perfect lap is almost impossible. As you say, I've been doing this 30 years now, and it never gets any easier.
Alright, qualifying
Don't
time.
think you'll have any trouble getting into the next session, so don't push too hard.
It is the last chance to make any setup changes to the car. The car feels pretty fine for the most part. I think the biggest issue is maybe on throttle, just a little bit. We can make it 70-something%. The other thing is we're having some rear camber issues as well. Just traction coming out of the last section of the circuit. So I think softer rear springs would also help with that.
Cars out on track, we should consider getting out there.
So just a few minor tweaks. This is the setup that we're going into qualifying with. We had 12 laps of fuel on board, I just realized. So let's make sure we don't run with that. But here's the setup. Just pause if you want to get the setup details for Barcelona. Weight is at 8 ballast. So we're going to put approximately 3.8 laps of fuel in the car. We're running the soft tire, which is the softest compound, soft, medium, and hard tire here. Yep, and go to track.
Garage, please. Car ready to leave.
So those setup changes are a bit of a blind change. We won't get to really thoroughly test those changes out. We're committing to them, but based on what I felt in free practice, I think that's the best way to go, is just soften a few things. So we'll go out and set a lap time now, and hopefully, wrong button for pit limiter. Oops, that's why I didn't disengage. So we're going out pretty early in the session. Should have left a little bit of fuel in, just so I can do 2 laps. We could honestly afford to do 2 laps, but we're not going to have enough fuel for that, so. Set your best time. Looks like they've replaced the DRS board that I knocked out free practice. So second gear is more optimal here because the traction is non-existent in first gear. Much better traction through here than before, but it's not a push lap. We aren't really pushing the car yet, but we will be now. Marcus Ericsson, enjoy your purple lap because it won't last. this should be flat, especially if we're going to make up lap time. In qualifying here. Flat out. This corner should be flat out, but it's not. Valtteri goes purple. No surprise there. Seems like a big Mercedes track.
Okay, you need to come in before you run out of fuel. Pit within 2 laps.
Car is horrible in this sector. It's just all over the place. Amazing to be P3.
Moved up to P3.
Kimi's gonna outdo that. I don't know where he is on track, but he'll outdo that. This is such a Mercedes track. Ideally, if we can start on mediums, I wouldn't mind. Then we can go medium, soft, soft.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
We'll worry about that when we get to Q2. Can we set a time yet? Hamilton just keeping on rubbing it in. There's teammate status.
We don't currently have the data.
He hasn't set a lap time yet. Going very slowly. So I'm coming in. He'll go faster probably. We're 5/10 off Bottas, so not great, but not as far back I think as I was expecting to be. This is not going to be an easy race at all. This is not going to be an easy one. We're going to have to work for it. Try to improve our pace, especially in the last sector. The car's just basically sliding around in the final sector. It's terrible in the last sector. So let's take a look. As soon as he gets the tire blanket on, there goes Kimi. He just left to do his lap. So Kimi hasn't set a time yet. So he went out smartly, like I normally do. Okay, 5/10 off pole. So we're not far off Bottas. 5/10 off Hamilton, which is the current pole time. But I'm wondering, because Kimi has had pace all weekend,
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:21.3.
does Kimi snag pole position? I think we're fine with Ocon being that far off the pace. I don't think we're going to have to worry. I don't know who hasn't set a time, but it's basically... Well, Verstappen hasn't set a time. Ricciardo hasn't set a time, but it's basically us four, the 2 Ferrari drivers and the 2 Mercedes drivers, that are the big concern. See if Kimi's setting sector times yet. He hasn't set one yet. Ricciardo sets a 22.9. 22.7 from Kimi, which isn't purple, I think. Wait, 22.4. He did a 22.7. So we have him outdone in the first sector. Ricciardo does a 30.4. And Kimi does, in the middle sector, a... Waiting for the timing, a 30.6. We did a 30.7, so it's very close, but we had the advantage in the first sector. So he gained a little bit back there. He'll kill us in the third sector, though. Let's watch Ricardo. Wait, Ricardo set a time yet? Oh, he went faster, didn't he? He did. 27.9. Okay, so much closer to us, but still struggling in that third sector to Ricardo. Where does Kimi end up? P2. So we're even closer to Kimi now. He does it 27.8. So we're much closer this time. We had a much better third sector, I guess. We're only a few tenths off of that lap time, a 21.3, 2.1. Yeah, it's basically a tenth between us. Faster than Verstappen. We had very similar third sector times. So we're safe. In fact, we're faster than Hamilton in the first sector. We had the purple first sector. We had the best first sector of anyone. So I think going flat through turn 3 or whatever turn that is was the difference maker. We're P5 right now. Let's see if that stays by the end of the session. We stay P5. All right. So I think we've got enough pace here. We're going to go and do a lap on a set of medium tires to start Q2. And we're going to hope, well, let's see what everyone else goes on. But I'm assuming other people are going on a set of medium tires. So I'm gonna go ahead in the tablet and put a set of mediums on. Medium tires, yeah, it's a gamble, but if we can start on this, I would prefer to go medium, soft, soft. Just have the softer tires for the last 2 stints. Get the first stint. Usually you can run that.
Rain in around 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh well, let's get on track then. Let's get on track.
Everyone ready? Okay, let's go.
All right. This is bold and brash, but we're going to go with it. Medium tire. What's everyone else out on? Oh, I'm nervous because there is rain expected. So if we can bank this lap and be good and get it right, we might be in for starting this race on the medium compound tire. Soft is definitely the better performing tire. Tire's definitely not up to temperature. Taking it a bit easy on the outlap. Alright, get ready. So we're about to start one of the biggest laps we're going to do in this session, in this qualifying session. We're kind of going for broke here with rain incoming. It's this lap or never. All to start on the medium compound tire. Making sure we have the maximum fuel level turned up all the way, engine turned up to maximum. It's not quite flat on the medium tire. Doesn't quite have the grip through there. Feels like the tire isn't gripping up enough. I feel like a lot of the time I'm just waiting on the car. Sainz in his home race sets a purple lap.
You're nearly out of fuel. Almost out of fuel. You need to pit within the next 2 laps.
Jeff, you need to pit in the next 2 laps. But you're already on the pit wall, so I went in a bit deep. That's going to be crucial for this lap. we're not faster than Alonso, it's going to be a real travesty. Purple lap, okay.
You've just put in the fastest lap. Good job.
Not a good third sector, so that won't hold no matter what. That's not going to, oh, there you go. Bottas just outdoes us. I don't know what he did. We did 22.4.
Bottas is ahead of you. Their best lap time is a 1 minute 21.9.
So a little bit faster, but pretty consistent with what we've seen. There goes Ricardo. I think we're going to be fine. As long as with this tire we're faster than, you know, most of the cars that are right behind us. The two Mercedes, our teammate, and the two Red Bulls can be faster than us. I'm not worried about those guys being faster than we are. But it's a question of whether the midfield cars are faster on soft tires.
From some rain. I'll keep you updated as the conditions change.
So far, it doesn't seem like they will be. Grosjean's not faster than us, obviously, on a set of soft tires. So we have that pace advantage. We can run this tire. There goes Hamilton. Fastest lap. And honestly, the pace difference between Hamilton... Is Hamilton on mediums? He probably is. So that pace difference is a bit concerning. We're going to find out when we come into the pits what he did that lap on. He may have done that on a...
Some weather is going to hit in around 5 minutes time, so stay on your toes.
He may have done it on a set of medium tires, which means the pace difference is significant. It's almost a second. It's like 0.8 between us, I think. But this is obviously a Mercedes track. We just aren't going to compete here. We're not competing here. We don't have the ability. Let's see here. Hamilton on a set of mediums. Ricardo on a set of softs, though. So, yeah, they are on soft tires. They're all on softs. 0.7 difference between myself and Hamilton. That's how good the Merc is. Let's see the Sector 3 difference. It's all in Sector 3. I didn't have a great Sector 3 either. So, they're killing us in Sector 3. Sector 2, we're close. Sector 1, we're faster.
Watch the conditions. We think there's rain coming pretty soon.
Kimi, he's doing a time right now. Purple, middle sector, 22.5 to my 22.5. So we matched each other through the first sector. And Kimi goes fastest. 27.7. Man, that was a lightning quick lap. We're 1.7 off Kimi on a set of soft tires, though. Soft tires being the biggest difference there. I just realized. So he did that on a set of softs. You would expect him to be faster. But I think we're fine. Let's see. 22.4, 22.9. Ooh, 23.0. You'd have to assume that none of those guys are going to improve enough to gain 0.6. Nico Hülkenberg, everyone behind us, would have to find close to 0.6. Hülkenberg would have to find 0.6, more than 0.6 to beat us. All these guys would have to go faster. There's no way. They'd have to push us back down to... There's no way. We're fine on mediums. And it's about to rain. Let's look at the live TV feed to see the current track conditions. Kimi on track. See, it's not raining. It's not raining right now. It's about to happen, though. Let's go inside the last 5 to 4 minutes and see if the rain has started to fall yet. Yep, it has. And Hülkenberg is on a set of softs. That's a pretty bold strategy for Nico Hülkenberg. But he's outside the top 10. He's got to do something. He's on an outlap. So pretty much locked in to this position and this tire. So I have a feeling nothing's going to change. Yep, we're fine. So we're going to start on medium tires, which is exactly what Hamilton and Bottas are doing. So we're just basically we're doing the same thing Mercedes are doing. Could we go for a one-stop? I think a one-stop is a gamble here. I think you definitely want to avoid the hard tire. And that's the only way we're one-stopping, is medium to hard tire. I don't really feel like touching the hard tire here. But being able to save the softer compound tires for late in the race, when that first stint is going to be... Oh, it's raining. Is it going to rain? It's going to rain for the whole session. Okay, well, let's get out. Let's just set a time.
Please stand clear. We're ready to go.
We don't really have a choice, so let's go set a time. This is going to be to set the grid, so this is probably going to screw us over a bit in terms of our grid position if we don't have a good qualifying here. But I say get out and do the lap. At least that's consistent with the end of Q2 that it's raining. It's raining at the end of Q3, or end of Q2, and it's raining at the beginning of Q3, so consistent weather. Oh boy. No grip. Nope, no grip. Uh-oh. This is going to be very hard to do. I have to pace myself. Someone's coming through. Oh, it's a Mercedes. Full side. I'm going to let him go. Here we go, Hamilton. It's going to go faster anyway. Get a slipstream off of Hamilton. Maybe a cheeky slipstream here. Broke like it was in the dry. Did you forget what conditions it is for a second there? Faster than Hamilton? Seem to be catching him.
Fuel. You'll need to return to the pits within the next couple of laps.
Good enough for P3.
You're into P3. P3 on the grid.
How much faster was Hamilton? Could I have made that up with the better sector 3 and without braking so late into turn 1? I mean, I'm already faster through turn 1 on lean mix, so yeah.
Hamilton is ahead of you. Their best lap time is a 1:33.7.
There's time to be found in it. So I might come into the pits, put a new set of tires on and go again. might-
has moved up into pole, first row of the grid.
This might be coming back to Mercedes. Tracks and the track selection will be coming back to Mercedes here. Although Raikkonen has had magnificent pace all weekend.
There's only one lap of fuel remaining.
All right, let's skip all this. I just finally remembered to do it. Practicing the pit lane entrance is good though. Gives me good practice. All right, quickly, new setup for intermediate tires, and we'll go out again. What's the weather like? Quick update. 5 minutes left in the session. Yeah, let's go out. I know that I can improve. There's a lot of areas to improve.
Intermediate tyres are your best bet in the current conditions. Our best lap so far is a 1 minute 34.4 checks.
Checks complete. You're interrupted, Jeff. So I think Kimi went faster, Bottas went faster. Much faster is Valtteri.
Bottas ahead. Their best lap time is a 1:33.9.
Okay. Just gotta improve the first corner and the first sector. That's really all there is to it.
Kimi is in first position. P1. Heavy rain to stay a while. Doesn't look like it's moving anytime soon.
Not a great exit out of the last corner. I'm gonna go on with the lap anyway. Let's try and improve the first turn at least. Seems slow, but it's faster. Here's your 4/10s. Just gotta keep it together.
Your lap times are down on Kimi's. You're down on
Shut up,
Kimi's
Jeff.
times.
This sector is bad enough in the dry. Now I have to drive it in the wet. There's a whole lot of lap time. Oh,
That's
purple.
the fastest lap so far. Well done.
Wow.
Fantastic. You've got pole.
Impressive. did Raikkonen on that one.
That is Kimi behind you. Their best lap time is a 1 minute 33.6.
Wow, 0.2 faster. It's gonna be tough to improve on that with the rain getting heavier. Maybe we timed that to perfection. I'm on an end lap, so it doesn't really matter.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
All right. I'm surprised we have pole. It was a shock when we came across the line and it went purple because I was not expecting that. I wonder if we had a really good third sector because that was a really, really solid lap then. We've struggled in the third sector. It's even harder in the wet, but I wonder if we had wonder if we were faster. We had a purple second sector, I know that. Third, so we did drop to third. So, let me compare the lap times in the screen. But third's not bad.
For the race tomorrow. But before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top three, who are Hamilton, Raikkonen, and Sebastian Vettel. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started.
That was a great qualifying.
Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
It was a really good qualifying. You can see we improved. We went 33.4 for the lap time, 30. So a whole second improvement basically. We did a 32.3 in the third sector, so we found some time there. We did a 35.2 and a 25.8. So the big change was really in the third sector. We just nailed it. So what did Raikkonen do before? He did a 32.4 in both laps in the third sector, and we did a 32.3 in the last run, in the second run, a 32.4 for Hamilton. So what did we do again? A 32.3. So we were faster in the third sector in the wet than our two contenders, two rivals. Let's see, so a 35.5 compared to a 35.2 for us in the second sector. So we were way quicker in the second sector than both of them. First sector, 25.8 for us, 25.3. That's the difference right there. The first sector, they're better there than we were. I was a little cautious in the turn one, so that's the difference really in the lap is the first sector. If we were a little bit better, I mean, only a 10th off pole. Kimi was barely off pole by 57 hundredths of a second. This is going to be a good one. This should be a good race. So we're going to start P3. Pole is kind of an advantage. You do have a good short enough run to turn one that pole is an advantage. It's not like you give a massive slipstream down to turn one here. But that being said, we're going to try. We have the advantage of starting on medium tires. So we can
it could be a tense round
hold
of the
that thought.
championship here as we prepare to get today's race underway. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-meter sprint down to turn one of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. A tough race in store then for our drivers today, so tell me, Anthony Davidson, what will you be looking out for as the cars make their way down into turn 1?
Well, first of all, let's hope that everyone's well behaved.
A big
and we can
crash.
have a nice incident-free start. That initial release is going to be the most interesting thing. And the clean side of the grid will be better rubbered in, so keep an eye out for cars over there potentially making their way through.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo, and Verstappen, Alonso, Perez, Sainz, and Roman Grosjean. Hulkenberg, Ocon, Kevin Magnussen, and Kvyat, Palmer, Massa, Lance Stroll, and Stoffel van Dorn. Wehrlein and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Alright, hopefully we don't have a big crash down to turn 1.
The run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up.
Yeah.
Take care.
That's my concern, is that the pack is going to be really close going to turn 1. So that's what I was thinking, is soft, or medium, soft, soft was what I was thinking in terms of strategy, and that's what the game's given me. Now the question is, can we find more time by extending a particular stint? I think if you were to, you could probably actually undercut here and gain time. No? Oh, well, I was going to say undercut onto the first set of soft tires, and it looks like about 64% is the predicted wear. Is there any phase of this race? Is there any change to strategy that would gain us lap time? I think we can play it by ear, revert strategy, and I mean, we could box early off of the set of medium tires. Look how much tire wear we're going to have to spare on the soft tires. So I'm going to do an undercut on lap 25. And we can play that by ear as well by just seeing, you know, if we're stuck behind somebody. One more time, a look at the setup before we jump into this race. Just going through it. It's really nothing's changed. Brake bias has changed. Got 56%. And yeah, that's it. Not much else to say. Medium, soft, soft was what I was thinking. Avoid the hard tire. Hopefully, Mercedes are doing a 2-stop as well. I think a 1-stop is very hard to do. Let me just, can I grab this strategy and edit this strategy so we can remove that stint and, whoops, remove that stint, put a set of hard tires on. That would be slower according to the game. I don't know if that's just because the hard tire is a good performing tire. I mean, you can see that that wouldn't be an ideal strategy, and I think the hard tire is terrible. So grab that strategy. Can we edit this strategy and just revert it? But make sure this is what we want. So lap 25. I'm going to put in the chat, if I can find my phone, with the Twitch app, I'm going to put the stint, I'm going to put the initial stint suggestion in the chat so that we can have it to reference by. I did this in Bahrain the other night. So grab my stream manager, chat, and let's see. So we're going to go to lap 25. We're going to stop for a set of soft tires. Put that in parentheses. And then we would go from that set of soft tires, we'll do 21 laps, and we'll stop on lap 46, L46. Stop for a set of soft tires. So they basically do 21 laps, 20-ish laps on a set of soft tires, and then we would go to the end 20 laps on a set of soft tires. 2 stops. Put that in the chat. There it is. It's pulled up on chat. Lap 25 for a set of soft tires. Lap 46, set of soft tires. 2 stops. There you go. So let's start the race. Of course, it's a formation lap that we do first.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some motor
cat has just woken up from a nap. She looks out of it. What you doing? What you doing there? Oh, I gotta pay attention to the track. Pay attention to you. Hold on 1 second. Pause. Hold on 1 second. All right, got that taken care of. So the interesting part about this is, you see Kimmy? He's on soft tires. It's going to be a hard part. And I've outqualified Valtteri. And the Mercs are pretty decently quick around here. Leaves me just a little bit nervous that the Mercedes cars are super quick, so holding Valtteri off is going to be an experience, I'm sure. Chasing down Kimmy isn't also something I want to do. I think we're going to have a tough time fighting these guys. This third sector that we're coming through right here, this is our weakest part on the track as a car and as a driver, so this part of the track is going to be very delicate and difficult. And the game is taking over. There's Valtteri. So by having P3 on the grid and securing P3 legitimately, we have the outside to turn 1. Which is actually not bad because it becomes the inside to turn 2. So it's actually not a bad place to be. We can break deeper, we can break later. It just depends on the kind of start we have.
Be patient and watch for the lights.
And we got 2 Red Bulls behind us, not really even a concern. It's Valtteri behind us that is the biggest concern. Hopefully not running into the back of anyone down into turn 1. It's actually a really decent start. A little bit of a lock-up. Raikkonen and Hamilton going at it in front. Kimmy is slow through there. Struggling with traction. Had a decent start though. You can see Hamilton just flying away. Here comes Kimmy. This is where we're going to struggle. Yeah, you can see that third sector is going to be a nightmare. Hamilton is gone already on lap 1. Got out of the last corner pretty well to pull a gap to Raikkonen. It's a good start though. A little bit of a lock-up going into turn 1, but just trying to outbrake Valtteri. Maybe reel Hamilton back in through the first and second sector. Car not behaving nicely through there. We need that soft tire. Car seems to like the soft tire here. So we can just do our run on the medium. Keep in mind this tire has to go to lap 25. Raikkonen is not going anywhere. Wait until he gets DRS. Things are going to get really interesting there. Not sure what happened there. Kimi is so quick. Hamilton the fastest lap. Again, it's pretty quick. We are pretty good in the first sector, so hopefully our first sector makes up for our bad third sector in a way. Man, Kimi is rapid right now. Sticking with me. Here he comes with DRS. Defending the inside. Have some turbulent air, Kimi. Well, that's a great exit out of there.
Gap to first place is 1.9 seconds.
Can have DRS, but I'm not giving him a slipstream. Tires are going to be knackered by the time we pit. Do we have the pace to win this race? I don't know. I don't think we're faster than Hamilton. Holding Kimi behind is going to be a miracle. Just have to be good enough through the third sector. Distance slipstream from Hamilton. Raikkonen fastest lap, but that makes sense with the DRS. Keep going purple in the first sector, so we're strong there. Got a race on our hands here. Definitely feeling the undercut here, just to try and get that fresh set of soft tires on first. Try and manage it from there. love to get inside DRS on Hamilton, but it's probably not going to happen. Still finding the grip here. We have DRS now. That's crucial. No DRS now, but a very distant slipstream. I think if Kimi gets past us, he's faster. Hamilton's moving all around there. See his car? He's chewed up his tires a bit. Oh, we have DRS down this straight. Wow.
We advise moving to mix 2.
That's a first.
To mix 2.
That's huge. So much faster here. Oh, not when I get in that dirty air. Just lost all the front end grip in the world. Moment I got really close to Hamilton. Big struggle there. DRS down into turn 1 is huge. And fastest lap. Wow. That came out of nowhere. No sense in trying a stupid dive bomb there. It's early in this race. Although I may end up regretting not giving it a shot there. Wow, Hamilton was slow. Too far back. Let's see. Oh, maybe we're not. Got a long run. Oh, we're going to get him. Oh, or not. A little bit of a cheeky move going off track to make that happen. Hamilton will be saying something about that one. He's going to get DRS off me, though. Still in this. He's still in this. This is our weakest part of the track. The exit was good though. Backed them up into Kimmy, let them fight. Yeah, let them fight. Really good pace. We haven't even strapped the soft tire on yet. Should be a purple lap. Yep.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Hamilton's still there, in touching distance, and in DRS. Our car is so strong in this first sector though. This is where we make up our time. Not lock up here. Like I keep doing every single time. They're fighting a bit back there. It's gonna help me. All I have to do is relax. Hard to do though when Hamilton's breathing down your neck. Car isn't feeling the best through here. Hamilton's coming back at us. And fastest laps. Yeah, they're starting to go faster. There might be a sitting duck here. Go defensive. I'm allowed to do it. We've turned up the wick. All the pressure. Woohoo! Slipstream into turn 1 is a OP with DRS. Gonna get another great run because the car is just performing really poorly in this sector.
We think there's a viable strategy change available to us. Would you like to keep to the current plan or try the new one?
I can't worry about that right now, Jeff. Jeff asking for stupid strategy changes midway through an on-track battle with Lewis Hamilton. Kimmy's passed. He was. Looked like he was. It's going to go down to the pit stop phase, man. It's insane. I can break the slipstream and it's not enough. Hamilton's coming for it. I'm going to block the middle of the track just because the AI are a bit unaware, as we found out in Bahrain. If you do that. Still been in fuel saving mode throughout this battle. Jeff said the pit on lap 20. That was the change that was made. That's quite a dramatic change. 5 laps is a huge change. Check the tire wear on the straight. Maybe I've taken a bit too much out of the tires. Having to defend like crazy. 22%. Have to go 10 more laps. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Pushing these tires to the absolute maximum. Turn 3. Whew. careful right there. We'd have to save fuel anyway, so I'm just going to do some now so I can have something to fight with. I'm going to need rich mix on that straight. It's enough to hold him back. Just pull out of the out of the slipstream. So he's already strong enough with DRS. Doing well enough so far. 66 laps of Spain, man. It's ridiculous. Pull the gap and set a fastest lap. So there it is.
Kimmy is pitting now. Kimmy is in the pits.
This feels like it could be one of those races where blue flags really does screw me over. If I'm not careful here. Kimmy's trying for that undercut. We got to be careful. We have to cover him off. For an update in a second. Just need to be fast laps. Kimmy didn't like the idea of staying out in traffic, so pit for the undercut, which is a bold move. Could really work out for him. Hamilton's in, Hamilton's in.
That's a new fastest
That's
lap
what we
for the
need to
race.
do. Pump in a few fastest laps. If you're gonna do this, you need to be the fastest man on track. Tires are kind of letting go. Okay, Kimmy's P3. There you go. Come out behind him if we stop now. Or will we come out? Oh, I can't even see it. Tires are dropping off. Watch Kimmy set a fastest lap. That was a terrible lap from us.
Burned up our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
I don't know if I like this. Covering off Kimmy. Gonna have to box on this lap. Especially if we lose too much time trying to get around Van Dorn.
Our gap behind is 22.1 seconds.
Okay, well, it seems like we're doing okay. Doing well enough. Get out of the way, Van Dorn. About to be penalized. Not getting out of the way.
Okay, distance to
He had blue
teammate,
flags for forever.
22.5 seconds.
This says we'd come out first. Kimmy took the strategy that was given.
Window, you'll be on the softs.
Kimmy took the strategy that was handed to me. Stop at the end of the next lap. my, look at that train. Might stop on this lap.
The gap to the car behind is 23.2 seconds.
I'm thinking about it, I might stop on this lap. Box this lap.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
Not playing any games with those guys. Just got it in time. Okay. Stuff. Soft tire going on.
Complete, go now.
Alright. Nice stop. 2.7. Good enough. But where in the world are Bottas and
Only
Raikkonen?
one stop to go. One stop left in this strategy.
Here they are. Coming up behind. Bottas went in as well. Pressure tires, and they're hitting blue flag traffic. So I think we're going to be fine here. Hamilton's still ahead of Raikkonen. And by staying out, we've actually built a bit of a gap. Plus they're hitting traffic, like I said. Good stuff. The call actually worked out perfectly. And Bottas came in at the same time we did. We were going to stop originally on lap 25. But I saw all that traffic and I said, nope. Screw it. I'm not going to take a chance on it. We were going to be susceptible to the undercut. We're fine. We are fine. We didn't get undercut. Staying out longer and going longer was good. So how long were we in the pits for? I didn't even check.
The gap behind us is 6.
I think you lose like 24 seconds here in the pits. I don't know how much time you lose here. I had like a 20-something second gap to Raikkonen. It's like 22 seconds. Before the stop. That is. See how grippy this soft tire is. It's just that good. This would without a doubt be a purple lap, unless that happens. Purple lap.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
I'm talking about Seb. Telling you, I knew our car would enjoy the soft tire, and it does. This is where we really become a threat in this race. By just killing it on soft tires. Wide. stayed out longer. We have the tire advantage by quite a few laps as well over Hamilton and Raikkonen. Keep that in mind. Dorn and Massa can hold me up here. I'm not very interested in getting out of the way. You guys can continue that fight somewhere else. Not very interested in getting involved with that. That definitely helped me up a bit. Boom.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
23s now. They're lapping really well. Lap 46 is where these tires have to go to. Somewhere near that anyway. We did come in earlier than lap 25, which was projected to be our first stop. We went in earlier just to prevent the undercut and to avoid traffic as well. We were going to hit. Eventually we'll have to get through it, but if I can delay having to deal with it, I don't mind coming in a little bit earlier than projected. Traffic can ruin races. Hopefully it doesn't ruin ours. There's a gap to Raikkonen in second now. There's a gap to Raikkonen behind. That is 6 seconds. 6.5. Gotta keep building on this. He's really past Hamilton. He's coming for me now. Kimi has had pace here all weekend. In his kind of track. Here's that battle I was trying to avoid in the pit stop phase. Almost 10 laps ago. See, instead of a train of cars now, it's just they've all split up a bit, and that'll allow me to get through this easier as well, not losing too much time. At least that's the plan.
Our gap to our teammate is 5.8 seconds.
Oh Lord, he coming. He already pulled into our gap. Shoot right into our gap. Kimmy's coming after us. That's why I need to get past these guys as quick as possible. Signs made that a little bit painful for me. Get the DRS off Palmer. Get out of the way. Hopefully they hold Kimmy up a little bit as well, because Kimmy is right behind. Captain Raikkonen. .5, so it's the same. There's halfway through the race. And probably a lot more action still to come. Hopefully they move out of the way on the straight. Shouldn't be an issue. I'm going to get DRS as well. By Hulkenberg. Need that. Slipstream. Fine. Put them between myself and Kimmy. Navigating traffic okay. Gap is staying the same, but the DRS is helping me off the lapped cars. That's really helping. Hit them in the right spots on track and it will be a lot less painful. I knew he was going to do that. I knew it.
Okay, copy that.
Makes sense coming in a little bit earlier. They did stop for this tire a little bit sooner. Just deal with it at the end of the race. But we have fresher tires than Kimi and Hamilton do. So Raikkonen and Hamilton stopped earlier than we did. And now Verstappen's in third. Does Hamilton have damage? distance. Any update on the top 5? Assuming Hamilton stopped.
The drivers we're racing are Verstappen and Raikkonen.
Okay.
The gap to teammate is 6.8 seconds.
Careful with Grosjean, he doesn't seem to know what he's doing here. Catching everyone in pretty good spots on track to not get too held up. We're making it easy to pass them for the most part. I've had worse time getting past lap traffic, so
You are in first position, front of the pack. Our gap behind is 5.7 seconds. They're on old softs. Your pit window will open in 7 laps time. 31 laps to go.
hold on 1 second. Dang it. Pressed the wrong button.
We don't have the data for that, I'm afraid.
Okay. Come on, Stroll, make this easier. Oh, Bottas is out of the race. Okay. Big for the constructors. It's Michael Schumacher all over again. Well, Raikkonen's gained. He's gained on us, trying to get through the lap traffic.
Caution, caution.
Yep, that's Bottas parked up somewhere, right there on the left.
Okay, clear.
What lap is it? 37, okay. Whoa, I hate that corner. It throws the car to the, all over the place. So we got a pit on 43, I think, at the end of 43 for a new set of soft tires. Gap to Raikkonen. I don't know if Hamilton stopped. That would be weird if he did. But I think Hamilton stopped. Which is why he's dropped out of the top 3. I just don't know what happened. Why he stopped so early. I really hope Mercedes wins the championship again. Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you. As someone who wants to see someone else win it, I'm going to have to disagree. But if you're a Mercedes fan, then I fully understand that. Oh, hello. I think Bottas. I think Bottas is a good driver. I think he's been held back a bit by Mercedes, but
is in the pits. Kimi is pitting.
I think he's been held back by Mercedes. I think we'll see the real Valtteri Bottas, or see what he's really capable of at Alfa Romeo. I mean, I don't expect that car to be amazing, but I think we'll see a much better driver at Alfa Romeo. I think he'll have a better time at Alfa Romeo as well. Kimi came in, which makes sense. Remember, he stopped a bit earlier than we did to try and get that undercut, so he's done it again. But he went for medium tires.
Information on Raikkonen. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Wait, who has a mechanical problem? I didn't even hear that. Yeah, that's the thing that's going to suck, is he won't be getting paid like he was at Mercedes. But I don't think he was treated very well at Mercedes, is my opinion. I think he's a very underrated driver, though. Very interesting. Raikkonen on mediums is interesting. Which we're going to go on soft tires, so we're going to have the tire advantage. Russell outrunning Lewis. I could, what? DRS is down. Oh, great.
DRS will be offline. There's a fault with the rear wing system. Stay out. We can work on a fix remotely.
Well, it's a good thing I don't need it. But anyway, going back to what I was saying. Russell, I could see it, but it's hard. I mean, Lewis is a 7-time world champion for a reason. He's the best driver in F1 at the moment. And I don't know, he just always seems to turn it on late in the season. Doing it again right now. So it's hard to say. Russell's obviously got talent. The only driver that's been able to go right back at Lewis Hamilton is Nico Rosberg, and it still went down to the wire. So it's hard to say what will happen next year. But I do like the idea of putting Russell in that seat.
You'll be on the softs.
Hamilton on hard tires, that's why he stopped. These strategies are weird. Yeah, he would have won that race if he didn't have that botched pit stop. Both Mercedes cars had a botched pit stop. Oh, what a wild race that was. But his time will come. He'll get a win. He'll get race wins. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch next year if he can compete against Lewis in same team, same car. That's the thing that I like. I like seeing a capable driver being in the same car as a generational talent like Lewis Hamilton. It's entertainment for us, and it puts up a challenge for the drivers, which just makes the season very interesting. This has been the most interesting season in a long time, so I've been here for this season. I've really enjoyed this year, it's going to come down to the last race. So, and next year is going to be really interesting because we don't know what the grid's going to look like next year. Or we don't know how the grid is going to shake up next year. Who's going to have the best performance? I know Alonso's performing really well, and a lot of people said, why is Alonso back at F1? Because he's old. The guy is putting together some amazing races this year with Alpine. He just got a podium. And that's what I was actually about to say is Ferrari have had a really good year this year. So I expect Ferrari to have a good season next year, hopefully, which would be fun for me. I'm a Ferrari fan. So as a Ferrari fan, it would be nice to see them at least get back to competing because it's been pretty boring for me as a Ferrari fan. But it's just hard to see. It's hard to say who's going to be winning right out of the gate next year because we just don't know because we get a brand new car, basically. Completely different cars. And somebody's going to get it right. Someone's going to get it right. It's a question of who's going to get it right. The thing about Ferrari, someone made this comment. I don't know where I read this comment. I read this comment like a year or so ago. And they said Ferrari usually, when they have a few bad seasons, they don't have lots of bad seasons. Usually Ferrari have a few bad seasons and then a couple seasons later, they turn it around and they're right back competitive. They did it in 2015, they had a pretty decent year. 16 was a down year, but then 17, they came right back. So I do expect them to get right back to competing again soon. Ferrari also have money. There's also that, which will buy you a lot of things in F1.
Okay, we're ready for you. Box this lap.
I'm wondering if Mercedes get it right next year because this has been a really interesting season. And I feel like Mercedes have put a lot into this year's car. I'm not saying they put everything into this year's car, but I feel like they've worked on this car more than they would like. And I'm wondering if that's going to have an impact on next season. How competitive will that car be next year? But they have a lot of brilliant minds. They have a lot of brilliant minds at Mercedes, a lot of brilliant engineers.
Release, release. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. You'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Was a bit disappointed by Aston Martin this year. I was expecting them to be way more competitive. They've just been back of the pack. back of the mid pack, almost competing with the back of the field this year. Maybe they get it right next year. I don't know. I think Otmar Safnauer is Safnauer leaving? I think he's leaving Aston Martin, or at least there was a rumor I was reading somewhere. McLaren have had a good year, although it's shocking because they're actually, I think they're P4 behind Ferrari now in the constructors. So the last couple races they've fallen off a little bit. But McLaren have had a really good year though. They bounced back, they have a race win. They have some podiums this year. So had a good season. I'm kind of surprised Ferrari are actually as good as they are right now in the constructors. I didn't expect them to compete for P3 this season. I thought they stopped developing the car a long time ago, or at least so they say. I don't know why Haas hasn't dumped Mazepin yet. He is clearly not an F1. It's clearly not F1 material. Grosjean slowing me down. Haas won't have a Ferrari engine? I don't know. They've stuck with Ferrari ever since their beginning.
Great work.
They've been pretty loyal to Ferrari. What a terrible stretch it's been for Haas. They used to have such a decent car.
So the gap to our teammate is
Oh,
22.8
these AI. Your blue flag, get out of the way. Blue flags, blue flags. We are Sebastian Vettel right now, so we might as well sing the blue flag song. I always thought it was impressive how well Haas performed because they have the smallest budget on the grid, smallest team. They don't always have the best drivers. They have always made work with what they have. Yeah, Mick is the only good thing that Haas have going for them right now. But he's really only there to develop himself as a driver, really, if you think about it. He's not really there for a long time. He's not supposed to be there for a long time. Seen the Haas car defending Lewis? No, I haven't. Was that in Qatar? They really need, Haas need a good season next year.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
Oh no, I didn't see it. Haas is basically the Toyota Prius on the grid. Pretty much, unfortunately. I was expecting this to be a bad year. They were going to can this season anyway from the very beginning. I was expecting it to be a very difficult season anyway. I think they've got to be all invested on next season, and they need to get it right next year, just so they can make some money. When your new car presents a lot of new opportunities. But first, they got to get rid of Mazepin. It's tough because we all know he's only there because he brings them money. So that's kind of tough for them. Mazepin has been like, he's been lapped by Mick, I think on multiple occasions this season. Like, he's been lapped by his own teammate. And is so far off the pace of Mick. He's nowhere near Mick. Unfortunately, teams are motivated by money, and they make decisions that will help them financially. Whoa, watch it there. Oh! If that's Lance Stroll, you suck. I just flashed up my middle finger in real life, even though that's not showing on the stream. Virtual Lance Stroll, you suck. I don't know why F1 won't allow a single car team. I didn't even know that was against the rules. What about a 3-car team? That would be interesting. I'm not sure if they put everything in a van instead of a truck. I'm not sure. I thought that they had their own truck, though.
The gap to the car behind is 20.9 seconds.
I think that, I know it costs a lot to run a team, but I don't think they're that bad off. I think they're just barely making it, though. They're a team that have to just barely be making it. Just getting by. Should have at least brought back Kevin Magnussen. I would have rather seen Kevin Magnussen than Mazepin. I always thought Magnussen had some ability, but I also think Magnussen is having way more fun racing in another series instead of racing at the back in F1. I mean, I don't blame him. Why be in F1 if you're just going to race in the back your whole career? It's not very fun. Steiner? Steiner is evil? I personally don't look at him as evil. I just look at him as, as kind of a hard ass. But I don't view him as evil, but I can see how some people don't like him, or might not like him. And I would drive the slowest F1 car for what they're paying, what they get paid. Hell yeah, I would do that. I would love to get paid to do that.
Okay, distance to teammate 29.5.
Never gonna happen for me. I mean, it's kind of cool if you think about it. You know, if you're in the slowest car and you're trundling around at the back of the grid, I mean, I'm not saying that they're not giving it everything, but you're basically being paid to just drive around the track. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that. Obviously, you have to help develop the car, give feedback about the car, and you have to try to extract everything out of it, and it's a lot harder work than it looks. But at the end of the day, in the slowest car, you're getting paid to drive around the track. This is a long race. I can't believe it's 66 laps. Oh yeah, Rich Energy has definitely derailed Haas. They've been downhill ever since that. It's like one of the worst things they could have done. Again, did it all for money, but I don't blame them. On one hand, I don't blame them. They're looking to try to get any kind of money they can so they can operate as a team. But they should have looked into Rich Energy before they did that. They already had a bad reputation. I will say this, it is real, though. The energy drink is real because I've seen the energy drink in person. But I don't know that you'll find them on store shelves. I haven't found them on store shelves anywhere. But I don't think Rich Energy is popular, at least not here in the US. Everyone knows about Monster and Red Bull. That's about it. That was the thing that really didn't make any sense. They were trying to act like they were harder than Red Bull. Like, yeah, man, take this Red Bull. We're better than you are. And meanwhile, Red Bull's over here competing for a championship. Like, everybody knows who Red Bull is. One of the largest energy drinks companies in the world. Who is Rich Energy?
24.6 seconds.
Hey, as long as they're paying me, I'll take the sponsorship. I'll take it. Get paid to do this? Yeah. They don't even have 1K in the bank account. I'm not even surprised. You have to let me go, Stoffel. You have to let me go. Those are the rules of blue flags. I didn't write them. The FIA did. Oh, that's right. I did see that their logo was copied from somewhere. Feels like a scam, doesn't it? That's what they did to Haas. They scammed Haas, basically. I wonder if Haas probably didn't even get any money out of it, out of that sponsorship deal. They just ended up looking like fools. I guess they had no choice but to turn to Mazepin's dad and that, what is the brand? Ural Kali? I don't even know the brand name. I might even be saying it wrong. Ural Kali? I don't know what the brand name is.
Yellow flag.
Oh. Okay, well, he's been turned sideways. That looked like Felipe Massa.
Green flag.
Oh, they lost peak auto. I didn't know that. I don't know if they were going to lose peak auto anyway.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap.
That fire crash was almost a year ago. Or something like that. It was about a year ago. Almost. Look at their blue flag, but they're still racing me. Yeah, Ericsson, you have a chance in that Sauber. You keep going for it. You'll get there one day. Oh, I missed that Toro Rosso car. That was a good-looking car. To be honest though, the Alpha Tauri, whoa, the Alpha Tauri doesn't look that bad either. But I do miss that Toro Rosso car. Looked really good. Oh my god. What? I love that random slide. Okay, fortunate. This is why you build a big lead.
Okay, the gap behind is 29.6 seconds.
Okay, well the car just randomly stepped out. Good news is we have a big lead. I think we might have worn tires, but whew, that could have been a lot worse. 11 seconds slower than my personal best. Wow. All right, what's the gap now to Raikkonen? It's got to be like 18 seconds now, something like that. Or Hamilton, sorry, not Raikkonen. 19 seconds, yeah, I figured. That was the weirdest spin I've ever had. I didn't do anything really wrong, I felt. Just, the car decided to spin out. Well, I have to relap that traffic as well. That's the fun part about all this, is I have to go back past Ericsson again. So, congratulations, you unlapped yourself, but now you're going to have to get lapped again. I'm so glad I have the comfort of a huge lead, because that spin would be a lot more disastrous if it was a close race. Oh my god, what in the hell? car is not... What are the tires looking like? Okay. They're not that bad, but still, I mean... Oh, I so need a shower. I'm sweating like crazy. Only 6 more laps or so to go. Gotta save some fuel. Oh man, purple though in the first sector. Hard tires is a very interesting choice for Hamilton. I don't know why you would do that, but okay. Shoot your race in the foot if you want. Keep going wide out of that turn.
Target behind is 19.4 seconds.
Oh yeah, I love that Golf livery too. I wish that was the permanent livery that they ran this year, McLaren.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
I always wanted them to do that, and they finally did it, but it was a one-off. Made sense because they brought Golf on as a sponsor, I think, last year. Verline and Sainz. You guys are going to hold me up, aren't you? I actually liked that Sauber livery as well in 2017. That was a pretty good looking car. The blue and the gold. Speaking of liveries, I think Mercedes are going back to a silver car next year. I'm not sure. I think I read that somewhere. Whoa. Whew. That was close. I like the black car though. I was always kind of hoping they'd do that, but like more as a one-off. Silver car looks good. Oh, that Dale Earnhardt livery was absolutely beautiful. That helmet was great. I actually like that helmet better than Daniel's normal helmet. Not a big fan of Daniel's helmet, but it's his design, he can do whatever he wants. But I'm not a big fan of his design that he's had. I prefer Daniel's designs when he was racing for Red Bull. His helmets when he was in Red Bull were pretty nice. I haven't been a big fan of Lewis's helmets the last couple seasons. I would much prefer. My favorite Lewis Hamilton helmet is the yellow one. What did Jeff just say? I don't know what Jeff just said, but my favorite Hamilton helmet is the one that he had when he was at McLaren. That yellow gold helmet, that was a sick helmet. And he also wore something like that. I think in 2017, he wore a helmet like that at Mercedes. Those are my favorite Hamilton helmets. I kind of wish he'd go back to that look. One of my more favorite recent helmets is Bottas's Hakkinen tribute helmet. That tribute helmet was awesome. Oh, Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll.
You might want to consider switching to a lower fuel mix. You may not finish on the current settings.
Oh! Oh, I forgot about the fuel. Oh, we need to fuel save big time. We need to fuel save in a big way. Raikkonen is in P2 now. He's overtaken Hamilton. That's big for the Constructors and the Drivers' Championships. Alright, we're going to have to do some massive fuel saving. I'm glad Jeff said something because I totally forgot about it. Totally forgot about fuel. Imagine if I ran out before I got to the line. We're fine. We're going to recover enough fuel. We have enough of a gap as well. Yep, me too. I missed the Martini. I missed that livery as well. That was a nice looking Williams. That was the last really, truly good looking Williams. Last year they ran that livery. I also missed the pink car. I actually liked having a pink car in the grid.
This is your final lap of the race.
The 2018 car, they were still Force India in 2018, I think, right? I think that's when they went into administration. It was in 18. Anyway, the Force India in 2018 was a really good looking car.
The tank is empty.
Probably my favorite Force India livery was in 2018. And they became then they became Racing Point for a few seasons. That was a really dumb name. Dumb sounding name. I just hated that name, Racing Point. But anyway. I don't know if he was arrested for fraud or not. I don't know if he ever actually got arrested. I don't really remember that whole scenario. He was involved in some money scheme or something like that. Something with money. Can't remember what for though. Oh, we're gonna win! Victory in Spain. Yes!
Nice work. That's P1.
P1.
Race win. Well done.
Wasn't expecting to win here either because we just didn't have pace in the practice or the qualifying session. I thought this was going to be a Mercedes track. So I'll take the victory.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt.
Those are huge points.
Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature.
That looks
So
like
the
Paul
more easily you
DiResta.
can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari.
Man, the first 20 laps of this race were just intense. And then the pit stop phase happened, and that deadpan stare from that guy. Then the pit stop phase happened, and everyone went on different strategies, and we just pulled away.
It's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a good result for Sebastian Vettel, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your
Bottas
driver
retired.
of the day?
Let's give it to Esteban Ocon. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
On to the constructors then. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. It was also a strong Grand Prix from Haas F1 this weekend. Fantastic work from the American team to move themselves further up the table. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling installment of this Formula One season.
All right, so we are now 40 points clear of Raikkonen. Oh yeah, Claire Williams. She's the daughter of Frank Williams. At Williams, they stepped down from Williams, I think, and handed the team over. They no longer run the team. That race big for us in the constructors. We're now 54 points ahead of Mercedes. So Bottas DNFing this race is huge. He DNF'd, so that's big. Any incidents? Stoffel Van Dorn ignoring blue flag. I thought he was going to get caught for ignoring blue flags. DNF, some collisions. That must have been what caused Massa to spin or whatever. Let me look at my lap. So 2-stop, medium tire, then 2 sets of soft tires was the strategy. Just like to go through my lap time, see how consistent we were. For the most part, there were some moments where we had to navigate traffic. Fastest lap was a 22.5. I don't know if we had the fastest lap today or not. Let's look at Hamilton's strategy, because he had a very weird strategy. He started on medium tires like we did. He went 19 laps, stopped for soft tires, and he only went, so from lap 20, he only went like 13 laps, 12, 13 laps on that tire. And then he stopped for hard tires. It's a very odd strategy. Why would you put hard tires on? The hard tires sucks in this game. And he did not, he struggled as a result. Kimi passed him sometime toward the end of the race. Kimi got past him on medium tires. So what did Kimi do? Kimi did the opposite, didn't he? Yeah. Kimi did the opposite strategy. He went soft, medium, I think. Or soft, medium, soft. How far did he take the soft tires? Yeah, he did soft, medium. So, opposite strategy to me. And ended up finishing on the podium. Let's look at that first lap. I always like to see the first lap on a replay. Yeah, that's a great view. Can totally see the action from here. Amazing view of that Marshall. So we started P3. We had a decent start. We actually had a really good start. And then down into turn 1. Did we go on the outside? What did we do? Oh yeah, that's right. I locked up. Had to defend from Bottas. Raikkonen and Hamilton fought at the front. Hamilton takes the lead. And then we went down the inside on our teammate as he left the door wide open. But the first 20 laps was some of the most intense racing. It was basically front wing to rear end for the front 3 cars. Myself, Hamilton, and Raikkonen for the first 20 laps. We were wheel to wheel with each other. But the pit stops ruined everything. We haven't had the Japanese Grand Prix. No, we haven't had that. We didn't have that this year. The last time they raced in Japan was 2019, I think. Because they didn't go there last year. They haven't gone there this year. I'm hoping they'll go there next year. It's a good track. I think it's a little bit of an overrated track, just a little bit, but it's a really good track. I'm hoping they'll go there. I'm hoping they'll go to Singapore. I actually think Singapore is the best street circuit of all the street circuits. So I'm hoping they'll go to Singapore next year. We'll see. Maybe we'll have a more normal schedule next year. And I miss Canada too. Canada usually gives you really good racing. Can give you pretty good racing. It depends. It depends also on the broadcast and what the broadcast shows. Like in 2019, we had a really good race in Canada. I'm trying to think of. I really wish Malaysia would come back. If they could bring if I could bring one track back, that's not on the calendar, Malaysia, easily bring that track back. I was glad they went back to Brazil. So I didn't think they would go back to Brazil this year. So I was glad to have Brazil back. I hope the modified Abu Dhabi layout is more raceable. I hope we get really good racing there. I've seen footage of the new layout on YouTube, and it looks like it's more fun to drive. So, but we'll see. And then we got Jeddah is next weekend. So that's going to be a very interesting race because it's a brand new track, and it looks like it's going to be super fast. It's going to be a very crazy circuit to race on. What's interesting is I don't even think it's finished yet. It doesn't seem like it's even finished. So I don't even know how it's passed inspection. if it isn't even really fully finished. But we'll see. Apparently they're going to race there, so. Remember how did we get past Hamilton? I think we got him in turn 1. Need more American tracks. As an American, I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna actually disagree with that one. I don't like the idea of racing in Miami. The track looks kind of boring. Well, I don't know. I just think it's going to be another typical street circuit. Just another boring street circuit. I don't think the U.S. needs multiple races. That's my opinion. I'd rather just have one race, and that's it. But I also kind of understand why they would think about doing that because, I mean, America's pretty big. I mean, you got the East Coast and the West Coast are two. There's a huge amount of land between the east coast of the side of the country and the west side of the country. I don't really know if we were to have 2 races, I would personally go to COTA in Texas, and maybe Indianapolis road course. I don't know. There's not many tracks. I like Watkins Glen, but there's no way that Watkins Glen would ever get Grade 1 approval. They would have to modify Watkins Glen a ton just so they could race there. But I love that track. Road America is a cool track too. But again, I don't think Road America is Grade 1 either. I think if you're going to have a race in the United States, have a purpose-built racing circuit. I'm not a big fan of street circuits. So the less street tracks, the better. And it seems like all the new tracks F1 is building are street tracks. It doesn't feel like they're building a lot of purpose-built circuits. It seems like they're temporary street circuits. Even Jeddah is a street circuit. But it looks like, admittedly, I was very hesitant about Jeddah, but I would much rather, it looks like Jeddah is going to be really exciting, actually. So I'm going to hold off judging the circuit until they race there. Yeah, Nürburgring's a good track. I would be happy to race the Nürburgring, like the full length, like the Nordschleife, or the Nürburgring GP circuit. So I actually like both of them, but there's no way they would race the Nordschleife. There's no way they would race that track. But the GP circuit is not bad either. It's just you don't get a whole lot of great racing. The full Nürburgring would be really, really fun to watch, but there's no way they would do that. They won't do that. I think the only thing that races there anymore in an official series is GT. What is it called? Oh, I forgot what it's called. Isn't it ADAC? ADAC? Something like that is the series or something like that. I can't remember. There's a GT series that races there. The 24 hours series, the 24 hours race, as far as I understand, is the only thing that goes there anymore. And even then, it rained last year. It rained for like, I think about 12 hours of the race. So about 12 hours of the 24 hours was just rained out last year at the 24 hours in Nürburgring. And they didn't race. They red flagged it in the GT race. So even then, it's still not even all that safe for GT cars when it rains like that. To be fair, it was raining so bad that there were puddles forming on the track, and you couldn't see they couldn't see where they were going. People were crashing all over the place. It was crazy. I don't even know if F1 suspension couldn't even handle the bumps at Circuit of the Americas in 2019. I remember when they went there in 2019, and Lando was talking about how bad the bumps were and how they were affecting the car, and the suspension just couldn't handle it. So it would imagine. So that's at Circuit of the Americas. Imagine how bad it would be at the Nürburgring, where it's just bump after bump after bump, and massive elevation change after massive elevation change. All sorts of crazy changes in elevation. They would break the front wing. They would have to raise the front wing so high just to race there. Oh, I'm not looking forward to the next race. It's going to be Monaco. next. We'll get Monaco in tomorrow, and that's gonna be. I hate Monaco. I'm so terrible at Monaco. I'm not looking forward to that. I gotta find a setup and practice with a setup before I ever race there. Before I ever start to stream up tomorrow. I gotta spend some time practicing that track, because this is when I faked the move and I thought about the overtake there. But Monaco, I'm not looking forward to Monaco. I always struggle at Monaco, and I always struggle to not crash there. Hopefully we don't DNF it, because this is a non-flashback series that we're doing here, so I don't get flashbacks. Yeah, I think Suzuka is coming back next year. At least it's on this calendar for next year right now. Whether that stays the same or not, I don't know. Oh my goodness. Well, the Senators have placed Matt Murray on waivers. That's really weird. Interesting news. This has to be the overtake right here. I think this was the overtake. Yep, this is it. This was the move. Oh, it went in a bit deep. I just couldn't slow it down there. But I got the move done. And then began the interesting part of the race where I had to hold off Hamilton for however many laps until the pit stop phase. I was amazed we did as well in Sector 3 as we did, because the car was terrible in Sector 3. I miss this camera. You don't get this camera anymore with a Halo. Also, I miss the way the 2017 cars looked. These are some of my favorite looking Formula One cars. They were awesome looking. I actually liked the shark fin, especially on the Ferrari. It just looks good. I don't know, it's just like, there's Hamilton fighting Raikkonen in the background. So let's see. We'll see if Matt Murray gets claimed on waivers. Crazy how his career has gone. He peaked really early in his career. Alright, that's gonna do it. I'm not gonna sit here and watch any more of the replay. I just wanted to see that first several laps. Battle onwards to advance to the next day, which will take us to the Monaco Grand Prix, but we're not doing Monaco. Oh, can I do this now? yeah, I'm going to have to drop the difficulty for this because the AI are going to be so strong. We'll just drop it a couple of places and I'll play around with it tomorrow before I start the stream. Just so I can get the AI right, because they're always faster at Monaco. So it'll be just like unrealistic. It'll be unreal levels of fast. But yeah, we'll do this tomorrow. Monaco is tomorrow. I need to go hop in the shower. I'm so sore already.
One thing Formula
Oh, it's raining.
most famous and challenging circuit
Of course it's
probably
raining.
didn't need, it was a damp and slippery track surface. It's time for a very tricky free practice session then, ahead of this weekend's Monaco Grand Prix. Now I'd like to tell you it's bright and sunny and we're enjoying some lovely warm weather for free practice today, but unfortunately, Anthony Davidson, someone's got the weather gods in an angry mood, and I think it's going to be a damp one.
Well, don't look at me, Crofty. I was hoping for a dry session like everyone else, especially the engineers down in the pit lane. They'll be the ones with the biggest concerns, as a lot of the answers they're looking for in terms of car setup and aero balance will now have to wait until it's dry. From a driver's point of view, there's a big responsibility when driving in these conditions during a free practice session, as there's very little to gain but a lot to lose, especially if you lose control of the car and end up damaging it. And if that does happen, it can put you on the back foot for the remainder of the weekend.
Okay, Monaco, let's take a look at the weekend ahead. Rain, dry, dry. Okay, so practice session is basically not even worth it. All right. We're going to have to find a setup for this track tomorrow. I'm going to have to test and make sure I get the AI level right for tomorrow as well. I am already feeling it. I was on the ice earlier tonight as a goaltender. Did some skating, and I am just feeling so sore. I'm going to be feeling it tomorrow. All right, so one look at the championship standings as well before we cut the stream. So that's where we stand, 40 points clear of our teammate Kimi Räikkönen, and then a further 2 points from there is Lewis Hamilton. So Hamilton is still, he is not quite two, he's almost two full race wins out, if that makes sense. He's not quite 2 full race wins out, but 50 points would be 2 full race wins. And that's almost the gap that we have. So basically, if we can build a 50-point gap to Hamilton, we would have enough gap to retire twice if Hamilton wins, and we would still have the gap on it. That's basically what I'm getting at. So hopefully we don't retire in Monaco, but I wouldn't place any bets on Monaco. I wouldn't get too optimistic. I normally struggle at that track. I have a hard time going well there. I mean, just to finish the race would be an accomplishment. It's 100% full distance with no flashbacks. So tomorrow is going to be a challenge. I'm going to need to be there mentally for the whole race. I'm going to really need to focus. But we'll save that for tomorrow.